I waste so much time. 10 reasons you're not being productive. I often find myself spending hours on the computer, surfing the net, or reading books when I could be doing something more productive. I'm so busy, yet I don't feel like I get things done. I waste so much time on so many different things. Sound familiar? You know what I'm talking about, right? We say these things to ourselves when we're not doing anything productive with our lives. Let's look at some of the reasons why we spend too much time on things that really don't matter in life. 1. I waste so much time because I failed to plan my day. It's easy to spend hours upon hours each week doing nothing. But if you don't plan your day, you could end up wasting countless hours without purpose. Try scheduling specific times during the day to work on projects or tasks to avoid this problem. It might sound silly, but making yourself accountable to a schedule can help you stay focused and productive. You can also set aside blocks of time to complete certain activities, like answering emails, working on a project, or reviewing your calendar. Doing these things on a regular basis helps you stay organized and keeps you from falling behind. And, don't forget to include breaks in your schedule. Make sure you take time to relax and unwind every now and then. This gives your mind a chance to rest and recharge, leading to higher productivity later. 2. I waste so much time because of poor time management. Time management is a significant issue for many people today. In fact, according to a recent study, workers are productive for only about 2 hours and 23 minutes each day. It doesn't matter if you're working from home, running a business, or just trying to get through a day without losing your mind. When we spend too much time doing things that aren't productive, it has a negative effect on our lives. It can cause stress, anxiety, and frustration, which can cause even more problems, such as depression and burnout. But if you want to change your situation, you must focus on improving your time management skills. How? By setting goals for yourself and creating a daily to-do list. If you have trouble getting started, try starting small. For example, maybe you should start by writing down 3 things you'd like to accomplish before the end of the day. Or perhaps you should write down 5 things you'd like to achieve by next week. Once you've made a goal, make sure you stick to it. If you decide to go out with friends after work one night, don't let yourself get distracted by other things. Keep your priorities straight and stick to them. 3. I waste so much time because of disorganization. Another reason why we waste so much time without purpose is that we're disorganized. The truth is, most of us are terrible at keeping track of all of our stuff. And as a result, we end up spending way too much time on things that could be better spent on something else. Instead of writing that paper that's due in 24 hours, you've spent about 30 minutes looking for your notebook. Or maybe you have a ton of notes about something, yet you could hardly remember where you wrote them. The solution? Get organized. Start by putting everything into its own place. If your desk is a mess, clean it first, then develop a system that works best for you. Maybe you prefer to keep papers in folders, while others find it easier to organize their paperwork alphabetically. Whatever organization method you choose, make sure you stick with it. This way, you'll know exactly where to look when you need to find a specific item. You won't waste time searching for papers or books because they'll always be right where you want them to be. 4. I waste time because I'm stressed. Let's face it, our energy is limited. But when stressed out, we often feel like we have less energy to spend on anything else. Instead of being able to do more, we tend to do less. And this leads to another problem: wasted time. Even worse, stress can take its toll on our minds and bodies. According to research, chronic stress can cause serious health problems such as heart disease, high blood pressure, depression, and even cancer. So how can we avoid being overwhelmed by stress? One answer is to learn how to manage your energy levels. Take on the most critical tasks during times when your energy levels are at their peak, and take breaks when you need them. You can also reduce stress by taking care of yourself mentally and physically. Exercise regularly, eat healthy foods, and get plenty of sleep. These habits will help you stay energized and focused in the long term. 5. I waste so much time because I lack focus. Distractions are everywhere. We're constantly bombarded with information from social media to TV shows, emails, and phone calls. It seems like every second we spend awake is filled with distractions. As a result, many of us struggle to focus on a single task. This makes it challenging to get things done. To combat these distractions, try using a timer or stopwatch to limit the amount of time you spend on specific activities. For example, if you want to write an article but find yourself distracted by Facebook, you might want to allot 1 hour of pure focus on writing first. Once you've successfully done that, you can reward yourself with 15 minutes of Facebook time. That way, you can still enjoy what you love without getting sidetracked. 6. I waste time because I lack quality sleep. According to the National Institutes of Health, adults should get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep per night. However, most Americans fall short of this number. Many adults and young adults nowadays report sleeping fewer than 6 hours each night. Well, one reason could be that we don't prioritize sleep enough. Many people think they need to work late, so they put off going to bed until later in the evening. They also believe they must wake up early to accomplish their goals. And if you're one of them, chances are, you're experiencing poor sleep. And if you do, that could be the main reason why you're feeling tired all the time. Insufficient sleep causes fatigue, which leads to a lack of motivation and concentration. Plus, it negatively impacts your memory and mood. If you want to improve your sleep, start by making adjustments to your environment. Make sure you're comfortable while you sleep. Also, turn down the lights and dim the room during nighttime so you can relax. If you still aren't finding relief after trying these tips, talk to your doctor about other options. 7. Anxiety prevents me from being productive. Worry can be paralyzing. It keeps us up at night and prevents us from doing what we want. But we all worry sometimes. Even when we know there's nothing to worry about, we sometimes obsess over many things, even the most unimportant ones. It doesn't matter whether you have something big in mind or just want to prepare for tomorrow. Worrying keeps us stuck in the past and prevents us from moving forward. When you feel anxious, ask yourself why you're worrying. Is there anything you can change? Can you control the situation? Or is it best to let go? Or, maybe you're worried because you don't know how to handle a particular situation. Once you've identified the real source of your anxiety, take action on the things you can control. Then, practice letting go of those worries. If you think your anxiety has become too much, seek professional help. There are plenty of coaches and professionals to help you cope with stress and anxiety. 8. I waste so much time when I'm feeling down. Feeling sad isn't always a bad thing. In fact, sadness can motivate us to act positively. However, if you're constantly depressed, you'll never reach your full potential. That's because depression, just like anxiety, can weigh us down and eventually lead to feelings of hopelessness. Depression can cause you to lose interest in things you used to enjoy, even your work. To overcome this obstacle, try to stay busy. Do something fun every day. Finally, if you're having trouble coping with your emotions, talk to someone who cares about you. They can help you find ways to deal with your problems. 9. You could be wasting time because of OCD. The most common symptoms for obsessive-compulsive disorder include obsessions, like fear of contamination, compulsions, like frequent washing of hands, and avoidance of situations that trigger obsessive thoughts. When you have OCD, productivity suffers. You spend more time thinking about your obsessions than actually accomplishing tasks, and in turn, this could lead to frustration and guilt. You may also struggle with decision-making if you're too fixated on your obsessions. You may even procrastinate, a lot. As a result, you often end up feeling overwhelmed and, yes, wasting too much time. Fortunately, you can learn to manage your OCD for better productivity. If you suspect you or a loved one has OCD, speak with a therapist or mental health coach for professional advice. 10. I waste so much time because of laziness. We all want to be productive, but sometimes we simply lack the motivation to do anything. Why? Maybe we've been overwhelmed, exhausted, or distracted. Or perhaps we just want to spend some precious time lounging around and binge-watching Netflix. But don't worry. Just don't let laziness take over your entire life. If you're struggling with laziness, start small. Then, gradually decrease the amount of time you take off. Eventually, you'll find yourself enjoying your work more than ever. In conclusion, if you spend too much time without purpose, you might find yourself wasting away. But don't despair. Remember, you don't need to accomplish everything at once. Instead, focus on one thing per day. And when you finish, move on to the next task. This way, you won't become overwhelmed. So the next time you find yourself spending too much time without purpose, take a deep breath, relax, and think about why you do what you do.